I'd went, there was another Craigslist ad popped up. Guy said it had a bunch of 66, 67 Fairlane parts. It says make offer, save from scrapyard. So I called him up, went and looked at it. A lot of the stuff is pretty rough, but some of it's decent. The passenger side fender has been blasted, had all the metal work done, had all the finish work done, and it's finish primed with a guide coat on. It's a pretty good fender. And it was wrapped in that moving blanket. He gave it with it. What I actually went to look at, out of all 4 cars I have, I don't have a good hood. And there's 2 hoods in there. One that's actually just scrap metal. He had took it somewhere to have it blasted, sandblasted, and it warped up like a washboard. And the other hood, when he bought it, they thought it was good, and he had it media blasted, and it had been full of filler. And but the good thing about the hood is it's never been kinked. All the hoods I have, every one of them has been kinked from people open the hood and then just grabbing it, trying to slam it. It's common on those cars to kink the hood, just like on the square body Chevrolet 73 through 80. They're prone for, buckling the hood because of the hood hinges rusting up. Well, these Fairlanes are the same way. One been sitting a long time. First thing people do, they open the hood and then they go to slam it. Just pull down on it and buckles the hood. That's the reason every one of the cars I have has been kinked. This one is pretty rough. It's got some patches welded in it that are less than ideal, but it's not been kinked, and I can spend a little time on it, get it finished in, and maybe make a decent piece for the wagon. So the guy, he gave me some of these pieces, just asked me if I'd just take them and get them out of his way, so I did. But I gave him $140 for the 2 fenders, the hood, and the 67 grill and headlight bezels. It's decent. I mean, it's very easily repairable, both those. And he gave us a set of 66 headlight bezels. They've got some dents in them, but I can spend a little time, tap it out and polish it back and make it decent for a driver. So, and one reason I went ahead and got all the stuff, like the warped up hood he'd cut metal out of, and that fender that's not very good, is I've got thoughts of building me a wall hanger to hang on the garage, out of the edge of a hood and the edges of the fenders and stuff. So, but like I said, the fender alone was worth what I gave for all the stuff. I mean, it's a really good fender. I mean, the body work on it's pretty slick. So he had all this stuff. He had a 66 that he had bought from a guy that had a fiberglass fenders and fiberglass hood, and he was wanting to put it back steel. It had a 428 and stuff in it, but he ended up selling the car, and that's the reason he quit. He had only bodyworked the one fender, and the other fender, once it was blasted, had been full of filler. I mean, it's pretty rough. But he had sold that car, and he had found him another car, which is a 66 289 2-barrel C4 car. But it's one of the nicest ones I've ever saw. It has 33,000 original miles. Had original interior. Had I mean, it was just all. I mean, it looked like brand new. It had been sitting inside since the early 70s, and somebody had bought it 2 years ago, and they redone the fuel system, everything, redone all the brakes and everything, and put a set of aftermarket wheels on it, and they got in a financial bind and had to sell it, so he bought it out of Maryland. Like I said, very nice car, one of the nicest ones I've ever saw as far as factory original stuff. A Survivor car, very nice. But he was another very nice gentleman. It was very nice to meet him. I'll take some more pictures of some of this stuff as I unload it here. Here's the underside of the hood. It has not been kinked, so that was the main point for me to even try it. And it's been kinked. This is the fender that's not very good. See, it's rusted there. It's been knocked in here, all over, up in here. I mean, it's rough. Rough. You can see where they had drilled holes in it and pulled it back out. There's patches they had welded in. It's still got little holes here and here. A little patch right there. It's loaded right there too. Knocked down some. It's pretty rough, but it's better than this one. This is the one off of the wagon. You know, it's an eat out along the edge bad. Separated, broken separated. See where it's all kinked up there. And eat out in here. This is the hood on the 4-door car. It's kinked also. See here, it's kinked. Caved in. Rust got a hole there. Of course, dented there. Rusted through there, got a few more spots, but you can see how the hood just bows up. And this hood here It's the one that's sitting on my 67 two-door hardtop car. It's actually a 66 GT hood. So smeared Bondo down the center from where it's damaged in the front here. But it's got another dent in the corner. And it's rusted in that corner. Both corners actually. But I'm thinking I can probably cut some pieces out of the wagon hood, the back corners like that, and maybe put in this hood, and maybe repair this hood. It's broke right here at the front, but that shouldn't be no problem. And actually, you know, at the front here where they always normally rust out, it's fine. The reason that one's rusted out at the back is because it'd been standing on its end for about 20 years, they said, beside a shed. And that's why it rusted out at the back. I bought it at a yard sale for $20. Now this hood here is the one that's on the 67 or the 66 two-door hardtop. It's got some rust in there. Starting to rust out in that crossbar there, and it's been kinked slightly. But said I'll try to take parts off of some pieces off the old hood off the wagon and try to patch this hood and the other hood up and make them usable. These old cars, when I get them, I always take the springs off the hinges. And I've lubed these hinges up several times, but they're still very tight. So I'm gonna go get some lube and spray on them again. Try to keep from kinking this hood again. Kinking it worse. What happens to rust these out in the center right here is when these cars have been sitting for years, is the mouse get up in there and build nests. Like there's tons of nests here, and I've already, it's been cleaned out. I cleaned that out back there, but I'm sure their urine's what contributes to rusting them out. Lubed up the hinges again. Now it moves pretty free.